So we got a really tough question from one of our friends here who has married his high school girlfriend. He's in his 20s right now, so he's been with the same girl since he was in high school, has never been with any other women, really loves his wife, you know, they're married now, and up until this point, everything has gone smoothly, but he's now saying that he wants to experience other women. Right, and he asserts to the fact that, you know, men aren't monogamous in our biology, and he used that as an argument with his wife to kind of like convince her that I should go fuck other women, and you're right, I get it, I agree with you. In fact, I created an entire video last year that caused quite an uproar because I talked about how love is far more expansive than a relationship between two, right? And it was an idea that I shared at that particular time because of what I was thinking. But now I get your question, and it's basically, you know, you may have seen that other video, and you're kind of saying, look, Elliot, I get it. You know, love can be spread in that particular way, and I do love my woman, I love my wife, but I want to experience other women. And he says that he used this particular language of biology, and, you know, it kind of made logical sense, right? Know this, that you're using this. Whenever we convince women, most of the time when we have to convince women, it's doing this, it's being logical, because women feel more than we do. So oftentimes, like they say, like a woman knows if she's gonna fuck a guy within minutes of meeting him. It's because he doesn't have to convince her that she should fuck him. It's because she feels it. She just like, women kind of sense stuff. So when we have to like do this, you know, convince through arguments, like we're in court with a woman, know that you're taking her away from her intuition. And, you know, I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just saying notice what you're doing. You're manipulating her. You know, and that, again, no judgment, but just know that women feel things, and oftentimes we have to romance them out of it. And but he's done a good job. Congratulations, man. You convinced your woman that you should be fucking other women. Cool. I totally get it. You know, the penis gets hard, and he's like, you want to discharge. But you go a little bit further, and this is why I decided to take your answer. Take your question, because he says that, well, now that I got the go-ahead, there's this one girl in my class, right? He's taking classes, and the way he even goes on to describe her, which I won't do, is very endearing. And then you go on, my friend, right? Now, mind you, the language you use with your girlfriend or your wife to convince her was, I want to have sex with other women. I want to fuck them, he says. But then, my man, just take notice, he goes to summarize this wonderful woman. This is the kind of woman a man like me could easily fall in love with. She's not just a fuck buddy in my mind. And then he goes on. And he wants to know, how do I now approach this woman who I could easily fall in love with for sexual relationships, and he even, you know, asserts to the fact that, you know, I've never been with any other women. I mean, really, that's the root of his question. I've never been with any other woman. How do I deal with this? No, you know, share the fact that I'm married with her and let her know I have an open relationship, and to be with her, you know, it's kind of like I'm a virgin in this way. And I feel the necessity to approach it from a different place. Number one, I want just to bring awareness, like I already have, to the schizophrenic language. On one hand, you're saying you want to go fuck other women. On the other hand, you're saying there's someone I could fall in love with. A very big distinction. There's a big distinction between fucking someone, right? The penis is it's an organ. I mean, we feel it throughout our entire physiology when we let loose into the depths of orgasm and explode. And I mean, sharing that with someone is great. But for men, because we move out, we don't take anybody in, we can just, you know, you're fucking you just wherever you can. It's not that big a deal. It's kind of a bodily function. But what changes it all is when you fall in love. Now you're talking a totally different language, man, because remember how I often talk about the three intelligence of the human being. The head, right, which you're very good at using to manipulate your woman. Your balls, your gut, your animal. You even said this to your woman, you know. There's an animal part to me. Your animal, right? But in between the high cognitive, spiritual abilities of man and his animalness, right, his balls, there is an in-between, and that's his heart. And when you approach something from the heart level, you bring both your mind and your animal to it. That's why I often say, follow your heart. Allow your mind to give room for your heart to carry your animal where it should go. Because if you could bring your animal with you, you're that much more powerful. And if you can calculate with the cognitive abilities of this mind, you are a mastermind. You cannot be stopped. When you choose to spend your life with someone, you decided to marry her, right? And fucking other people wasn't a part of the arrangement. But then you convinced her using this, that I'd like to go and put my penis in other women, and that I'll be careful, I won't bring anything back. You also got to remember that you're also implying, and even in your email, that all of me might go somewhere. My heart might go somewhere as well. And now you're asking for problems. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do this. That's not my thing here. I just want to kind of I put myself in your shoes, right? And if my wife says, Elliot, yes, you can go and fuck other women, well, that's one thing. But the most dangerous place that I could find myself in is if I start falling in love with another woman. Because now you've got a problem with yourself, because it's like you're torn. Often, this is what happens to the heart, at least mine. When it is magnified in a particular direction, everything outside of it turns dark. That's the power of focus and concentration. And that's just the way I act. That's why I have the things I have in my life. Because I focus and concentrate all of my energies and efforts into that, like a laser beam on the things that I want, right? And I coordinate what my gut's telling me, the passion of my heart, and the calculation of my mind to get all the things I want. And the problems that I have in my life are centered around that focused, concentrated beam of consciousness and energy. If that beam becomes split, the energy is split, and I'm split, and I can't bring 100% of myself to the handful of things I've chosen to spend my life doing. I'm spending my life doing. Now I've got a problem of a torn heart. Boy, my head tells me that I should be with my wife because we chose that way. I still like fucking her, but my heart is also drawn over here. And boy, I really like her because she's as hot as I would like a woman to be, and I want to fuck her. And you're like this. At least I would be. And in that split effort, you are schizophrenic, and you can't give 100% to either of them. So she's getting 50 and she's getting 50. And trust me, women don't like to be half of your attention. Shit, I feel like I'm cheating on my wife when I go to work, right? I feel like I'm cheating on my wife when I take my daughters out on dates, right? When I go and I spend too much time without her. Women want a lot of you, right? I mean, the vagina is a never-ending pit, right? What happens when you go into the vagina? More come out. You put yourself into it and boy, here's another one. And it just doesn't stop, right? Especially if you have girls, right? I mean, the girl then makes more children. It's a never-ending thing. Women are like the earth. They just keep, they're insatiable. And now you're gonna split yourself between two of them? Hey, you know what? If this shit is gonna work, you had better go move to Utah where they do that stuff. I don't even know if it's legal there, but they're kind of into it. Just bring the other one home and say, hey, look, babe, here's our new wife. And you all then at least you're there and all of it is in the same home, as opposed to, yeah, I was fucking my other love this morning, and now I'm coming home to love you as well. It's gonna be difficult, but look, try it out, bro. All of life is an experiment. The more experiments, the best. I'm just telling you that you're choosing problems, and you had better evaluate if you want to deal with those problems. Right? And I just described one of the problems that I feel I might have. For you might not have that problem, right? Maybe I'm just inferior in that way, right? Maybe you can love that many people at the same time, love and fuck, and have them separate from one another. There might be some merit to that polygamy thing. At least bring them into the same home so the love can be shared amongst us, right? Isn't that how our ancestors did in the tribes and stuff? But now you got your away bitch and your home bitch, and you're split. Wouldn't work for me. But hey, again. So you gotta ask yourself now, and this is where being a very strong man comes into play. Ask yourself this, right? Set your heart and balls aside for a moment and ask yourself, what is my mission in life? What is my bigger picture? What am I working towards, right? What kind of skyscraper am I gonna build with my life? And then when answering that question, recognizing all the vital resources that you'll have to put into it, right? Because you'll be cheating on both of your women with that thing. And if you're a man, you probably do want that thing. There's that thing. Men, we just have this desire to also fuck the world. And when I say that, I mean insert our vital energies into all of creation and build something, right? That's why we have skyscrapers, big giant penises coming out of the earth in New York City, right? Because that's what men do. We build monuments to the penis. And now you've got that, your big picture for yourself. And then you got to share yourself with two different women who both want never-ending pits, right? The vagina is never-ending pit. You got two never-ending pits. You got to deal with both of them on an individual basis, and also they're not going to like each other unless they're in their same home. And you want to go do your thing in life. So you got some big fucking problems. See, I don't fuck other women because I don't want other problems. Right? Of course my dick will get hard if there's a hot chick hanging out with me. Oh, yeah, sure, I'd like to fuck her, but I don't want any problems. Right? I've chosen what I'm going to do with my life, and I've made choices that support what I'm going to do with my life. If what you want to do with your life is be a gigolo, or I don't know, but you got to ask yourself, besides women, put them away. That's what men need to do every once in a while. Cut yourself off from both of them for a moment and ask yourself, what do you want as a big picture? And it had better include your head, heart, and your balls. It can't just be, I want my dick to do whatever my dick wants to do. Right? Because you'll be miserable because you're imbalanced. Where does my heart want me to go, and how can I bring the strength of my animal and the calculation of my mind? So I don't have an answer for you. I'm not telling you, yes, please go and be courageous and go fuck this other woman. I'm not telling you, no, don't do it because it's going to ruin the big picture for your life and your relationship with the woman that you chose to love forever. Just know what you're jumping into. Accept the challenges that come from jumping off the cliff. I often talk about jumping off the cliff, and you're jumping off a fucking cliff right now. Make sure it's the right cliff that you're jumping off of, and make sure you're ready for all the challenges associated with it. Hey, either way, you're going to become a stronger version of yourself because you're going to figure some shit out on the way down. Good luck.